Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with the cable. Actually, I'm going to start off with the euro, then come back to the cable. I'll go through what I was looking for, why I was bullish this, and take it from there. So you're looking at the daily here, right, on the euro, and if you look back here, start on which side? See his daily, right? You know, we got resistance, support, breakdown here, and he got back up above it, yeah. So this just tells me that taking the stops from here, and now he wants to go to the other end of the range and take out the stops there. So that's that. Now go to the 4 hour. Now when price was down here, I think I was looking for a short into some block here. I think there's a H1 block here at the time. Where is it gone? I can't remember where it is now. It's around here. That's not right. I think it was around there. I can't remember. That's in the past. I was looking. I thought this was gonna go down about a week or two ago and fill this in, but it didn't. Once you reject it back up, then that's it. So if you look at my tweets, I posted a chart, right, and I showed this here. Now if you look at this market cross, what's this? So you can see right there's a bullish candle and there was sell off here. Now that sell off led to a big stop rate. It took out these key stops here, and then it just pivoted back up above it, right? And then it was holding it. So that tells me that's a mitigation block or a break or whatever you want to call it. But now they're using it as buying, so they bought it here, and as long as it stayed above there for me, I was bullish. Now going to the daily, this daily block here as well, and I was holding that nicely. So intraday, right, even I was like in two minds where it's gonna go. But if you just stuck with the higher time frame flow, because that overrules everything. The higher time frame flow, you know, as long as you're in sync with that, that's all you need to be in. Anything else in the low time frame is just noise. Even I was like looking for a short setup earlier. I posted, but I said I'm not gonna take it unless it's a breakdown. I wasn't confident on it. My bias was still long. Plus, I wasn't really interested in fiber. It was cable I was looking for mainly. Now if you can see, like yesterday I posted a chart and I said, you know, this is just a retracement back down. Yeah, and I marked out this block here. Let me just pull it up. It was this chart here. It was down here at the time. I said it's gonna take out these stops here, and that's exactly what it did. Now I'll go through what led me to that as well. Now I did a market exercise video, right, if you remember, and I said the highs and lows of each day. Now let's do that same exercise right now. Pretend all this price action hasn't happened, and we're just taking each day at a time, right? So we've got this high here, and we just mark it out. Now ignore the fact that it's taken out that high. Let's just do one step at a time. This high there, and then there's a low. So this was Friday's low. I think later on they will take this, but for now they're holding it. So that was Friday's low, right? Start Monday, Asia high here, and then Monday's low was here, but that was taken, so I'll just count that as Tuesday, yeah. Tuesday, and then Tuesday high. So simple stuff we're doing, nothing complicated here. So it's the daily highs and lows. That's key for me. That's when it breaks that, my bias on a market shift is much stronger when it takes out the high or low of a specific day. Because intraday, you know, you can get loads of stop rates within that day, highs and lows within that day. It doesn't really. I'm not. Obviously, sometimes, you know, I will count as a change in market structure, but this is how I perceive. It's how I trade it. So we've got the high. Everybody with me so far, right? I know there's loads of lines, but we'll clear all this up as we go along. We've got this low here. Now, and we got this high here, okay? So let's take each day at a time. I did get screwed over on this a couple of times. Like I did go long the other day. I posted it, and then it did go, and then it just gave up. That's yesterday. So okay, so Monday comes down, and then I thought this was gonna get taken, but it didn't. They held it, and it's still a clean bottom here. But if you look back, right, you know, Euro's been quite dirty because it left a clean bottom here. It didn't get taken, and there's been a few instances here and here where it took ages before it got taken. So that just made me think, you know what? Yes, I do respect clean highs and lows, but my preference will go to the higher time frame flow. What that's trying to do, because on many occasions I'll be screwed over expecting those clean lows or highs to be taken, and in the end, you know, it gets taken later on and I get screwed over. But when I stick to the higher time frame flow, what is the daily and 4 hour telling me, then you know I'm more right than wrong. I take loads of losses. You see me take losses. It doesn't matter. I make it back with those big winners. But let's go through this. So here, and then it rallies up. Now, what changed everything for me was this here. That rally we had that day, yeah. And it what's so significant about that? It's taken out this day's high. You can see it clearly. Now, starting the week, right? That's why I say if you mark an intra-week high and highs and lows, and then you can then apply the buy model in sync with the higher time frame flow. So we just look at those stops here. Those are the Sunday open, right? The stops resting there, and then we just look at those stops resting there. Monday's high, Sunday's high, and then you know they haven't been taken intra-week. So intra-week, those that short here, they're sweating when it comes to here, and then it still saves them here. It doesn't take them out completely, and then it drops. Now a lot of people were getting bearish here and seeing this drop. I was just thinking to myself, I thought maybe this drop is going to lead to here, but when I seen on the Sunday night, right, wait, hang on a minute, you know, what's really going on here? Look at the 4 hour. This is still intact here, what I marked out, and the daily block is still getting respected, so keep that in mind. Anything else is just fuckeries, really. All this is just fuckeries. You know, take our intraday high. It doesn't mean some breaking market structure, for me anyway, depending on what scale of time I'm trading. But from in sync, if you're still in sync with the higher time frame, if we're just looking at the 4 hour, if you look at the difference it makes. When you look at the 4 hour, you don't really care about what's going on in the lower time frames, do you? Because the other time frames are just stop market structure. If you think every move break of high and low is a market structure break, then you're not really getting anywhere. You know, you think loads of people ask me, you know, well, look, it broke that low market structure break, but then there's a reason why I say high and low of each day, and looking at what is going on in the higher time frame. So looking at this H4, does this not remove a lot of the noise? Just looking at what's going on in the H4 and daily. So asking you guys a question. If you just stuck to looking at the bigger picture on the higher time frame, where it's trying to go, does that not just clear out the mess? So going forward, I said okay, I think this is gonna go higher, and this is where I was targeting. This high here, was on the main one, and this high here, because it's the intra-week stops. Yeah, the stops longer run, but my main target would be here and there. I probably would have got out here because first of all the moves already happened. Look at the time of day and stuff. I'd be really lucky or something special to really just push forward, because the ADR was reached as well, and I'd be happy collapsing. Yeah, I'd be happy collapsing my position here if I took a long. So in the morning, right, going forward, I was looking at this this block here. Now I was in two minds at the time. I had euro dollar long, and I was looking at cable as well, but cable was just looking a lot easier, and so I just decided to take cable at the time. So I had this up. Now I don't want to be in both at the same time. You know, I do not want to be in both. I find it hard to be more than one trader at the time, unless one position's in big profit. So this came down here at the same time. Cable was showing bearishness, so I chose cable instead. But everyone's clear with the euro long, right? I know one of the guys in my feeds, he took a nice euro long, and he made good pips out of that. But so far the euro clear, right? That's all I gotta say about the euro. This was the nice move here. That'll be what to the cable after that. Everyone clear with that, yeah? Alright, let's go to the cable now. This is what I really liked. Now I just gotta go to the monthly for this, and this is why I'm still targeting that. The low here is 142.25, so let me just mark that out. 142.25.6. But I had a take profit at 142.30. I do think this is gonna get taken. It's just a matter of time. No way are they not gonna take this, and I'm even considering them taking this. But I'm happy with one stop at a time. Now, hang on. Yesterday I tried to short it yesterday, and I closed half my position, and then the rest got stopped out overnight. Now, it didn't mean it negated the trade. So if you look at this, right, bias is still bearish, big time. I mean, it comes down so much, you know, it's obvious it's bearish. Now going forward, right, so it came to the high here and reacted off this, okay, this H1 block here. I didn't short this. And let's go to the lower time frame, and this is why if my earlier tweets in the morning about where they were buying, they're previously selling, didn't make sense, I'll explain it now to you. So it came up, okay, and it took out this high here, filled in a bit of that gap, and it dropped. So what I tried to do was I tried to short it here yesterday, off this block here. Thought, okay, intraday this is gonna flow, and then it's come up here. I thought maybe we get a push down, but it didn't. And then I tweeted yesterday, you know what, these guys are fucking about here. Look how they're consolidating here, it dropped. And when it's coming back up, I closed half the position. I go, this ain't looking good, because then looking at the time of day, I thought if it's gonna be London Open, probably gonna do one more stop rate, and there's still a gap there, and we're still within that bearish block. I mean, if I kept my stop loss here, it would have been safe, but I wasn't willing to keep a 36 pip stop loss. I thought, okay, let it stop me out. I'll come in London Open and I'll just see what's happening there. Now, this is where, you know, ICT concepts are so unique. And when he says it's not like supply and demand, it's fucking is not like supply and demand for this reason. Now look where they're previously buying and selling. Okay, so if we look here, right, mark this out, right, so mark it forward. They bought it here to send it up there. Where else were they buying and selling at? So this swing low here, and it's not hindsight shit, because if you look back at my tweets, it's the exact same charts. Goes up, goes up, goes up, tops out during Asia, and then starts breaking down. Right now, look at exactly where the buying and selling was up. The selling was happening when they were buying here, and started to break down. Rolls are getting reversed. Now, once this block breaks down where they're previously buying, they're starting to using that to sell now. So they react off there. When this breaks, where they're gonna sell next? They're using this to sell next. So I actually took a quick scalp on this in the morning, and then I closed it, and then I waited for an order block to form here. Now I tweeted in the morning, sell limit 153.91, 143.91. So if you look here, I did post, where's it gone here? So fuck's sakes, man. So I said sell limit 143.91, right? And it did come up, and it would have been safe. I mean, I kept a stop loss there, but I said if it breaks 144, I'm cutting it. It took there and it came down, and I trimmed it a bit. And I know cable does sometimes be a bit fucked. Sometimes you gotta be patient with it. But if you're confident in it, then you know you can still stay in there. Let it squeeze you. It squeezed me a bit, and then I did close it, and then I posted a chart, right. I said break down again, and then it just broke the structure low here, right. And then I thought then I tweeted, right, if it breaks down further, the blocks lower down, then I'm gonna re-enter it. But when I tweeted, I thought, what the fuck am I not on this? This is a no-brainer. This is. So I shorted it, and then I put a stop there, and then it dropped, yeah. And then see that drop, right, was the 200% extension of this move. Now also looking back, it took out this low here as well, and that was like close to 200% extension as well. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna close most of it down, which I did. And then any retracing back up, you know, I'm happy to take it on later on, because it will give you another opportunity. And then it came right back to that. I thought maybe, okay, what it's gonna do is it's gonna maybe form an possibly in this low here I had marked out. So maybe it's gonna if it holds this level here and breaks down, forms the order block, I'll re-short it. Now what happened was, what it did was filled in this gap, it filled in this range here, and then it came back up, and then it came off this block here, but I didn't re-enter because it was getting past 10 o'clock GMT, and I don't really like taking. I do sometimes take it, but I don't really like it. Go, let me wait for New York Open, then I'll retake again. So what happens was, it sells off, breaks the structure. Now what does it do? It forms an order block. Yeah. Now, if I'm correct, price shouldn't really breach this again, because this breakdown here, this swing broke the low, so there's heavy selling in here, so they shouldn't really take it back above there. Now, so if you go down, if you look at the chart I posted, I tried to post my entry right when it first started, but you know, sometimes my reception was so shit, right, it wasn't enabling me to. So I had this marked out, so I'm gonna get rid of this, right. Everyone's clear on that. Now also, if you look at this, that level here is being used to sell again, and we got a confluence of normal order block here. Now what happened was, I was watching this carefully, and I'm just gonna get rid of this, and then I seen these two double tops here, so I was gonna short on the spike here. So hang on a minute, and then it breaks down, so I was gonna short here, but I go, no way I'm gonna short with these clean highs here, plus the order block hasn't been reached yet. So if you look, it's a little stop rate, and then once it's kind of closed, I got in on the kind of close here into the block. I got in the kind of close, and I kept my stop loss here. And then that was the end of it. It's short, it's all off, and it's still selling off right now. I won't be surprised if they go to 142.25 tonight. I've seen it happen before, but I got most my move out of it. Is that clear? That's how I played it. So going back in your charts, right? So if you say, for example, you're bearish, right, and price is pushing up, take it as a good sign. Mark out areas where they were previous buying, and then watch, and then when price breaks down, watch them same levels again where they were previously buying. That is a fake engineering up. All this here was fake engineering up. Another reason why I shorted last night here, I thought maybe they'll fill this range in. And sometimes, you'll get moves right set up late in the day, and then they'll just keep drifting down, and then sell off. I've seen that happen many times with cable, so that's why I did enter this quite late. But I thought at least we'll fill this in. It enabled me to put my stops at break even, take some pips out, and then I'll look to re-enter if it stops me at break even. But I seen this in the morning, and this is why this was so clear. Whenever I get this right, it's a no-brainer, and this is why I left a limit order in. I rarely leave limit orders in. I prefer entering a market. It's just the way I trade, and I feel more comfortable with that. But I don't mind being late 2-3 pips, as long as you catch the move if you're correct and gives good art. Who gives a fuck about 2-3 pips? But you notice, right? See the previous levels of buying, then they were used as selling. This was key to me. This was perfect order flow. You can't get, when you get something like this is a no-brainer, man. You gotta be all over this, and this is why I picked this over euro, and it paid off better than euro as well. Although euro did give a good move. So that was that. Going forward, I still think it's gonna go lower, and right now it's about to post a new low. And whatever happens after that, then I'll just wait for price to develop and look for the next setup. I'm not bothered about that. Another one was DAX, and I did post this chart last night here. If you look back, while everybody was thinking fucking the bottom's in, right, fucking all this is right. If this was a 5-minute chart, this is the breakdown, and then those that missed the top, they wait for the price to come back into the breakout where they previously bought to take out these stops. So that's all price did. It came back into that and sold off again. That's all it was. And then everybody's fucking pulling in fundamental news, this, that, the other. I'm like, screw this, man. And here, S&P, I was gonna short this last night, but I pushed it out of it at the end because I didn't want to short it then. I thought, let me wait till London. But I've seen S&P drop off hard, and I should have, but missed it. Shit happens. And literally, listen, this is how tight your stop would have been. It's 60 ticks, it says here, but S&P is a lot more volatile than this broker. So that's 6 handles risk, and it drops as much as 76 handles. So that's like 12 R there potentially. I mean, I would have targeted where. So when you're looking at breakers, right, your target is usually here, at least here, and then if it wants to carry on, it's fine. But looking at the daily, right, so the reason I would have taken profit there, but what I also would have kept an eye on is this low here. See that? That's the sell model completion. Now it probably will drop lower, but this is where I will be targeting. So going forward, so if I took this trade, I would have targeted here, and maybe the remainder for that low here. It sort of catches the bottom here. So that was that. It did give it a re-entry later on, but I wasn't paying attention to that because I was at Friday prayer at the time. But if you look at it, same principle again. Where they were buying? They were buying here, weren't they? Yesterday, off this mitigation block here, bought it up. So if you miss that high, it breaks down, breaks through that. Now you know, right, that roles are reversed now. Now they're going to use it for selling, and we have an order block form as well. And the reason why, so we have an order block form here, comes perfectly to that here. Could have sold it there, stop loss just above that block, because it was this swing that led to that breakdown here. Now this shouldn't be rated again. Sometimes you will get it, but it shouldn't really be rated. 99% of the time you won't get rated. So you enter here, stop loss here, target still in mind here, target 1 and then target 2. So this would have offered you four handle stop loss, target 126 handles, you work out the R on that, and then target 235 handles, and yeah, for them both, and that's what led to it. Now I was scalping the DAX later on my phone because I was on the computer. I took this short here. It runs up, takes out these stops, breaks down, back in, and I think I came out of this low here for about 62 ticks, and my stop loss was here. I mean, I had a mental stop loss here, but if you push too deep into it, I don't like that. I would have cut it, but I kept it there anyway because it is a whippy market. You can't really have tight stop loss as you would have FX, but it's relative because it gives you more pips anyway. So that I took out about 60 pips out of that, but it dropped 124. So there's about 2R there I got out of that. So that was DAX. Is everyone clear with the DAX? Another market I was watching was Euro Aussie. Man, I didn't get on board this, but I was talking. I sometimes open my room. Me and Carlos, there's a guy called Carlos in there. He's a good trader. We're talking about this long here, and the guy caught this 550 pip move, and I'm just left there like thinking, what the fuck? I wish I was on board that, but it doesn't matter. But it's been impressive moves though. If you think about it, all around. But I'm content with the cable, even though it's dropping now. I'm probably gonna slap myself, but it doesn't matter. But is everyone clear? So with what I explained, I only took cable shorts today. I won't include DAX, that was just scalps, but the cable shorts were the main one. That's all you need. You just gotta watch out which markets you want to trade, and just take that. Is everyone clear with that? I'm not gonna keep this webinar too long because I just want to go through what I had. But was there any other markets? Euro GBP as well. If you look at this, right? I mean, it's reached for that monthly block now, isn't it? It's not there yet. Dollar CAD gave perfect opportunities this week, but you know what? I didn't even pay too much attention. It's just after the fact. I mean, the setup on Dollar CAD earlier this week I had marked out, but I didn't even look at it. But I'll explain it anyway. It's good learning anyway. And I had everything marked. I was ready for it, and then I was looking at other pairs, and I just completely forgot about it, and then boom. So this bias was bullish. Now looking at the monthly, right? Even ICT does a video on this as well. I had this 140, and I think French you were there when I explained it to you. French was in my live room. I said it's gonna go to the 143 handle at least. So you aim for minimum targets, and if it exceeds that, then that's just bonus. But you don't want to be too greedy. So it comes up there, right? So we see this rally up, and this was an opportunity to get on board here, and I missed it. But this is a rally up, and then I'm still bullish this market because looking at the monthly, right, I think it's going to fill all this in, and I think it's going to come to at least here 1.5. Let me leave it 1.5. I think it's going to go for that. It's filling in this gap now, and a lot of people are short, and I think it's going to go higher, but minimum I think it's going to go 1.5 minimum. So I like to mark out minimum targets, and loads of people are shorting this, man. I'm like, why the fuck are you shorting this? If price is still suggesting it's gonna go higher, why are you guessing at all? You know, I don't get that. You know, I think it's extended and it's overbought and this. So what if it's overbought? You know, it's still gonna. It doesn't mean it's not gonna stop. That's how flipping trend is. And this was the perfect buy here, but it didn't get it. And then this is where the mitigation block comes in. So if you missed that, I've been trading a lot of mitigation blocks and breakers lately. If you notice, most of my entries are breakers lately. It comes into here. And this was the retest, but I'll be honest, I wasn't watching Dollar CAD and I didn't take part, but this is the move. So if you see this happening again, you know what you're looking for. And you know, I'm not even going to look at cable now because it's making new lows and it's probably going to hit the target I wanted. So that's about it really. I wasn't really looking at too much. I mean, I do flick through charts and study them, but that's what I was looking for. Kiwi, I wanted these lows and it got hit. Didn't get on board. Pound yen, I was a bit. I tried to get on board. This offered a nasty move down. Look at that, man. 420 odd pips. I did post yesterday, right, that I wasn't comfortable with these highs here, but sometimes market doesn't give a shit. When it's weak like this, I was gonna take pound yen instead of cable this morning, at the same place where cable was dropping from. And if I shorted that, I would have been up 370 odd ticks, but it doesn't matter. You're never gonna get every single pip. Hindsight is always a bitch, but. I was targeting the 168 level, this low here, but right now, I mean, the yen pair is on full on crash mode. But I think it's gonna take out the 163. What's the low of this? 163.865. 163. I think it's gonna come as low as that. Because I still see cable weakness, so obviously I see dollar yen weakness as well. So pound yen would be the ideal pair to trade, and the still got another 274 pips. And as you know, yeah, the way the yen pays, it can do that in like half a day. So that was the pound yen, but it doesn't matter. Someone on my feet that Dave, I think it was Dave. Was it Dave or David? He called the 170 50 high as well perfectly, which makes sense as well because you take out these stops, right, and then just when everyone's starting to get bullish, right into a block, where does it come into? A flipping breaker, mitigation, whatever, and the confluence of what, the H1 block as well, which is perfect, and then it just sells off nicely. But it is what it is. It doesn't matter. But what to do, right? Especially like this is what you want to look for. I mean, these setups happen all the time across all pairs. Now, even if you just take these alone, like study waiting, you don't even have to pick the top. Once market tells you, okay, where there's previous buying, they're using to sell. When this happens, you know it's no brainer. And when you're sick with a higher time frame flow, having the higher time frame stops or targets in place, like my higher time frame target is still the 142.30 minimum. And you've been in sync with that, then you know it's like it's easy trades. And if you look back at it, where ICT sold at, he sold at the 92 level as well. Now I wasn't copying him, I did it live and explained why. So I had one guy saying he only shorted it because of ICT sorted it. I go suck your mum, man. You get me? I explained why I took it as well in live time. But yeah. So what you want to do, right? Look back at your charts and study this, okay? I'm telling you, man, it'll make things a lot clearer and it'll give you a lot of confidence, so because you won't have to guess where the high is. You just get in later on, and you won't have to. But like today, I got in, I got out, and then I wasn't bothered because that higher time frame target is still intact, and I can always get on board later on. And this is the second entry he gave me, and it sold off. And look at that, man! Look at that sell off. But yeah, so is everyone clear with that? Yeah. So what you want to do is this little thing I've just mentioned here. Go back at your charts. You know, study it, see how well it works. I mean, it's worked on that. I mean, you look at the S&P. S&P is a completely different market, but it's the same thing that's happening. It's generic, isn't it? Look back at all my recent DAX trades. I haven't caught the top, but I've been catching the later moves, and sometimes the later moves give you a better risk to reward. So you're not even bothered about catching the top. If I was paying attention at the time was, you know, I wasn't paying attention. Actually, this was in the morning. I wasn't paying attention to this. But later on, it gives you a setup here as well. But it doesn't matter. You don't get all of them. But so far, is that clear? So what I want you guys to do is study this, especially the cable what I mentioned, and just see it for yourself, see how it works, and then then you can just like make your own rules for it. Oh well, I'll take it this time, and when you got kill zone, the kill zone lining up, everything else lining up, then you can't go wrong. It's a real no-brainer. Okay, that's clear with everyone, yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the recording, and then whoever's got questions, I'll do that. So let me stop the recording.